Welcome to another episode of Deep Dive into Real Estate by Team Luddy Dillon. This is the place where we simplify real estate for you, one topic at a time. Enjoy.
Okay, so you know how putting together IKEA furniture can be a real pain sometimes? Well, selling a house can feel kind of like that, especially if you're doing it in the dark, right?
I can definitely see that.
But hey, no need to stress.
Right.
Because today we're going to do a deep dive into selling your home.
Sounds good.
We found this awesome online guide that's packed with expert advice, and we're going to break it all down for you.
Okay.
So think of us like your trusty real estate Sherpas, here to guide you through every step of the process. No mountain too high, no closing paperwork too confusing.
Love the analogy. And you're right, selling a house doesn't have to be this big, scary thing.
Exactly.
With the right info and a little know-how, it can actually be a pretty smooth, dare I say, even enjoyable experience.
I like your optimism.
Yeah.
And speaking of the right info, did you know that we're actually part of the Luddy Dillon real estate team right here in the Peel region?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we specialize in Brampton, Caledon, and Mississauga.
Nice.
We're all about helping people in the community make smart real estate choices.
Awesome.
And Laddie has been a total pro in this market since 2007. We're following in his footsteps, sharing those golden nuggets of wisdom with you.
Yeah, we want you to feel like you've got this, whether you're buying, selling, or thinking about investing.
Absolutely. Confidence is key, right?
For sure.
Okay, so let's jump right into it. Our trusty guide says picking a listing agent is kind of like finding the one.
Oh, interesting.
I get it. They're going to be with you through thick and thin, those crazy showings and those super stressful negotiations.
Yeah.
It's a big decision.
It really is. Picking the right agent is huge. They're not just there to slap a sign on your lawn. They're like your advisor, your negotiator, your cheerleader, all rolled into one.
So true. So how do we avoid ending up with, like, the real estate version of a bad blind date?
Right.
What should we be looking for?
Well, the guide highlights three main qualities: experience, honesty, and communication skills. You want someone who's been around the block, has great reviews, someone who will give you the straight truth about pricing, and someone who actually, keeps you in the loop.
Okay, let's break that down. Experience obviously makes sense. You want someone who's seen it all, but why are reviews so important?
I think it's like picking a restaurant.
Yeah.
You're more likely to go to one with hundreds of good reviews than one with just a couple, maybe not so great ones.
Totally.
Same with real estate agents. Those reviews give you a glimpse into how they work, how they communicate, how they handle those tricky situations.
Right. You get that social proof, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now about honesty and pricing. I can see how it might be tempting to go with the agent who promises you the moon,
Yeah.
But that might not be the best move in the long run.
No, not at all. Overpricing can actually backfire. Our guide found that homes that are priced too high often sit on the market longer and sometimes end up selling for less than they would have if they'd been priced realistically right from the start.
It's like that saying, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Exactly. It's better to have a solid offer now than hold out for something that may never actually happen.
Right. You want that balance of attracting buyers, but also making sure you get a good return on your investment.
Exactly.
Okay, so experience, honesty, check. Now let's talk about communication. I can only imagine how frustrating it would be to wait like days to hear back from your agent when you're trying to figure all this stuff out.
Oh, I know. It's the worst. Especially in real estate where things can move so fast, you need an agent who's responsive, who's going to keep you in the loop.
Yeah, it's my house. I want to know what's happening.
Right. You deserve to be in the know.
Okay, so we've found our real estate soulmate, the agent who checks all the boxes. But before we even list the house, shouldn't we have a good grip on the numbers involved?
100%. You need to know your home's potential selling price and all the costs that come with selling.
Right, like realtor fees, lawyer fees, staging costs.
Yeah, all of that.
It adds up.
It does. Now, there are some online tools you can use to get a rough idea of your home's value, but for a truly accurate assessment, nothing beats a comparative market analysis, or CMA, prepared by an experienced agent.
I've heard of CMAs, but to be honest, I'm not quite sure what they entail. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. So a CMA basically takes a deep dive into recent sales data for comparable homes in your neighborhood.
Right.
Your agent looks at things like square footage, lot size, the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and any recent upgrades.
Yeah.
And they use all that data to give you a much more precise valuation than those general online calculators can.
So it's like a personalized report card for your house, helping you understand its real market value.
Exactly.
I love it.
Okay.
Now, our guide also mentions prepping your house for sale. Is this where we channel our inner Marie Kondo and start decluttering like crazy?
It's definitely a part of it. But it's more about depersonalizing and creating a neutral space that potential buyers can imagine themselves living in.
Okay.
Think like a model home in a new development. Clean, clutter-free, inviting.
Gotcha. So maybe packing away those family photos, swapping out that, that bold accent wall for something a bit more mellow.
Exactly. You want to highlight your home's best features, but also let buyers picture themselves in the space without being distracted by your personal style.
Okay, I get it. My taste might not be for everyone, so keeping it neutral makes sense.
Right.
So are we talking about major renovations here, like ripping out kitchens and bathrooms?
No, not necessarily. It's more about addressing those little things that might put buyers off, like patching holes in the walls, maybe repainting, or even just updating some light fixtures.
Okay, so we're not going for a complete overhaul, but a strategic refresh to make it more appealing. Love it. Now, speaking of appealing, I've been hearing a lot about pre-listing home inspections these days.
Oh, yeah.
Is this something we should consider?
Absolutely.
Really?
It's all about transparency and avoiding those stressful surprises down the road.
So what exactly happens during a pre-listing inspection?
Basically, you hire a home inspector who thoroughly checks your property before you even list it.
Okay.
They're looking for any potential issues, from small repairs to bigger problems that might need fixing.
I guess that would definitely help you avoid surprises later.
It does. And by taking care of things up front, you're not only being transparent with buyers, you're also minimizing the chances of those issues becoming deal breakers during negotiations.
So it's like getting a clean bill of health for your house.
Exactly.
I like that. Okay, so we've got a sparkling clean house. We've addressed any potential problems thanks to our pre-listing inspection.
Sounds like we're on the right track.
It feels like we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, now it's time to really make your home shine. We need to talk about the magic of home staging.
Ah, home staging. So this is where we transform our humble abode into something straight out of a magazine, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's more about neutralizing the space, just like we talked about before.
Okay.
Depersonalizing to appeal to a wider range of buyers. Think model home, remember?
So we're talking about clearing off those countertops, packing away all the personal stuff, maybe rearranging some furniture to make it flow better.
Exactly. You want to create that clean slate, that feeling of spaciousness, so buyers can really imagine themselves living there.
Gotcha. And don't underestimate the power of a fresh coat of paint,
Oh, yeah.
especially in those nice neutral tones, just to brighten things up.
Makes a huge difference.
Okay, so it's all about creating that welcoming space, that neutral canvas where potential buyers can see themselves calling your house home.
That's the goal.
Awesome. Okay, so we've staged to perfection. Our house is ready for its close-up. It's showtime. Time to let the world know our gem is officially on the market.
You got it. And that's where we'll pick up next time. We're going to dive into the world of marketing and showings, how to attract the right buyers and make sure your property shines.
Can't wait. But before we move on, we got to give a shout out to Laddie Dillon and his incredible team here in the Peel region. If you're even thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, they're the folks to talk to.
For sure. Years of experience in the Brampton, Caledon, and Mississauga markets, they're dedicated to helping you every step of the way.
So don't make any big decisions before checking them out at www.searchhouse.ca.
You'll find tons of helpful info there and a team that's truly committed to making your experience, whether buying or selling, as smooth and successful as possible.
Awesome. All right, everyone, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. From finding the perfect agent to getting your house all prepped and ready for its debut, it's been quite a journey.
It has.
But there's more to come.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the deep dive, everybody.
We're back.
Last time, we were talking about finding the perfect agent, crunching those numbers, and getting your house all spiffed up for the market.
Right, giving it that spa treatment. But after all that prep comes the moment of truth. The offers start rolling in.
Oh, it is exciting.
I'm getting excited just thinking about it.
It's definitely a thrill, but as we talked about before, you don't want to just jump at the first offer you get, even if it seems like a really good one.
Right, because sometimes a slightly lower offer with maybe a faster closing date or fewer conditions might actually work better for you in the long run.
Exactly. You got to weigh those pros and cons and figure out which offer truly fits your situation.
And that's where having that amazing real estate agent really pays off, right?
Big time. They're not just there for those open houses, they're your strategists.
Right.
Helping you break down those offers,
Yeah.
making sure you're getting a good deal.
Okay, so we've carefully reviewed the offers, maybe even done some negotiating, and we found the one. Champagne time, right?
Yeah. We'll hold on to those bubbly glasses for just a sec because remember those home inspections we talked about?
Oh, right, right.
Even if you had a pre-listing inspection, the buyer will probably want to do their own.
So even though we tried to be proactive and fix any issues, the buyer's inspector might still find something.
It's possible. Inspectors have a really good eye for detail.
Okay, deep breaths, everyone. So what happens if the buyer's inspection does uncover some issues? Does the whole deal fall apart?
Not usually. It just means you might need to go back to the negotiating table. The buyer could ask for you to make some repairs or maybe offer a credit to cover the costs.
So we're back to negotiating, but this time it's about specific repairs, not the overall price.
Exactly. And remember, you're not obligated to agree to every single thing they ask for. Your agent will be right there with you, helping you figure out what's fair and what's not.
It's all about finding that sweet spot, right? Where both the buyer and seller feel good about moving forward.
Absolutely. Now, besides negotiations, you also have some legal stuff to keep in mind. You're required to be upfront with the buyer about any known problems with the house.
Right, so no hiding that leaky faucet under the sink.
Exactly. Transparency is key. It's not just the right thing to do. It protects you legally down the line.
Honesty is the best policy.
Right.
Okay, so we've made it through the inspection, we've dotted our I's and crossed our T's. What are the last steps, those final hurdles, before we can finally say, see you later to our house?
Well, now it's your lawyer's turn to take the stage.
Uh-oh.
They're going to handle all the paperwork,
Okay.
make sure everything's legal and in order, and coordinate that closing process.
Paperwork, gotta love it. But hey, at least I've got a legal eagle on my side to make sure it's all done right.
Exactly. Your lawyer will be there every step of the way, explaining all those documents and answering all your questions, so no worries.
That's reassuring, because I'm all about minimizing stress when it comes to selling a house. So once all the paperwork is signed, sealed, delivered, can we start packing those boxes?
Almost. You want to make sure the house is clean and ready for those new owners before you say goodbye.
Right, because who wants to move into a place that's still full of the previous owner's stuff?
Exactly. It's just common courtesy to leave things in good shape. Think of it as a nice parting gift.
It's like leaving behind a little good karma. I like that.
And of course, you want to double check you've taken all your personal belongings and left anything that was included in the sale.
Right, no accidentally packing the fridge.
Exactly. Okay, so once the house is sparkling clean and ready to go, you hand over the keys to your lawyer, they'll pass them on to the new owners, and that's it. You're done.
End of an era. It's exciting to think about new beginnings, but I bet it's also a bit bittersweet saying goodbye to all those memories.
It is, but it's also super rewarding knowing you've successfully sold your house and are ready for that next adventure.
And who knows, maybe that next adventure involves finding your own dream home. But for now, let's take a moment to recap those key takeaways from our deep dive. What are the most important things for our listeners to remember?
Good question. I think the most important thing is knowledge is power.
I love that.
The more you know about the process, from pricing your home to handling those negotiations and inspections, the better equipped you'll be.
Right, and don't be shy about asking your agent anything. They're your expert guide through this whole thing.
For sure. And my second key takeaway would be choose your agent wisely.
Right.
They're your partner, your confidante. They're going to be with you through thick and thin, so you got to find someone you trust and who gets you.
It's like finding your real estate soulmate.
Yeah.
Someone who's got your back and can help you navigate all those tricky situations.
Exactly. And finally, remember that selling a house can be an emotional roller coaster. There will be ups and downs, but with the right attitude, a supportive team, and a little bit of humor, you can get through it and come out the other side feeling good.
Beautifully said. It's like closing one chapter and opening a brand new one, full of possibilities. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's give another shout out to Laddie Dillon Real Estate here in the Peel region. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Brampton, Caledon, or Mississauga, Laddie and his team are the ones to call.
Absolutely. They've been serving this community since 2007. They know this market inside and out.
So if you're ready to jump into the Peel Region real estate game, head to www.searchhouse.ca and check them out. You won't regret it.
It's the perfect place to start your real estate journey. Okay, everyone, we've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive. We talked about offers, inspections, negotiations, all those final steps towards sealing the deal. But there's still more to come. Join us for part 3, where we'll talk about those bittersweet goodbyes, share some packing and moving tips, and leave you with some final thoughts to empower you on your home selling journey.
Stay tuned. All right, deep divers, welcome back.
We're in the home stretch now.
We've talked strategy, we've covered negotiations and paperwork, but now it's time to face the music.
The big move.
It's moving time.
It really is a mix of excitement and maybe a little bit of, nostalgia.
Totally. It's bittersweet, right?
Yeah.
You're excited about the new chapter, but you're also leaving behind a place with so many memories. And while I'm all about change and new adventures, let's be honest, packing not exactly my favorite thing. It's right up there with doing taxes.
Oh, I hear ya. But hey, I've got some tips that might make it a little less painful. First things first, start early.
Okay.
Even if it's just a box or two a day, trust me, it makes a huge difference.
I know. I'm the queen of procrastination. But then suddenly moving day is here, and I'm like, what have I done?
Exactly. So break it down into manageable chunks. And hey, don't be afraid to call in reinforcements.
Ooh, yes.
Friends, family, or even professional packers if you need them.
Many hands make light work. Okay, so we're starting early. We got our packing crew. But what about all this stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not exactly a minimalist here, but going through years of accumulated stuff is a little daunting.
You know what? This is the perfect time for a fresh start.
Yeah.
Be ruthless. Get rid of anything you don't actually need or use anymore. Donate, sell, recycle, whatever works.
I love that. It's eco-friendly, and you're giving those items a second life. Now, as someone who has definitely had that moment of, wait, where's my toothbrush? On moving day, any packing hacks to avoid that last-minute scramble?
Oh, for sure. Pack an essentials box. Keep it with you throughout the move.
Okay.
Things like toiletries, medications, a change of clothes, phone chargers, even snacks and a coffee maker, the essentials.
That's genius. It's like a moving day survival kit. Okay, so we're packed, we're prepped, the house is sparkling clean. What are the absolute key takeaways from our whole deep dive into selling your house? Like, if our listeners remember just 3 things, what should they be?
Okay, 3 things. Number 1, find the right agent. I can't emphasize this enough. They're your partner, your guide, your advocate. Look for experience, honesty, good communication, someone you truly connect with.
It's like finding your real estate soulmate.
Exactly. Takeaway number 2, knowledge is power. The more you understand about the whole process, the more confident you'll feel. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do your research.
And there are no silly questions when it comes to selling your home.
Right. And finally, remember that selling a house is an emotional journey. Embrace those feelings, whether it's excitement or a bit of sadness or even some stress. It's all part of the process.
It's a big life event. It's okay to feel all the feels.
Okay, well, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of selling your house. We hope you've learned a thing or two, maybe even had a few laughs along the way. And most importantly, we hope you feel empowered to tackle this adventure head on.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone. Lean on your team. Ask for help when you need it. And speaking of amazing teams, we had to give one last shout out to Laddie Dillon and his incredible crew here in the Peel region. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Brampton, Caledon, or Mississauga, they're the experts you want on your side.
They've been making real estate dreams come true in this community since 2007, and they're known for their integrity, their expertise, and their commitment to their clients.
So before you make any big decisions, head over to www.searchhouse.ca and check them out.
You won't regret it.
Thanks for joining us on this wild ride, everyone. Until next time, happy house hunting.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will be back with something new and something interesting.